And then Rangers, it's been confirmed. Well, it's been reported this week that Craig Robertson's resigned as head of football operations. Is that concerning for them, given that they're already without a CEO and their chairman recently left? There's obviously people in the background still running the club, but at the top of the club, there doesn't seem to be much, many people actually running it and in charge at the moment in time.
Yeah, they've got an enormous vacuum at the top of the club. It's an enormous issue that it has to be addressed, and it has to be addressed quickly. So that, it also clearly points to very big issues around the executive team. You just, a stable organization just doesn't have so many issues. So they will have to address it, and they've got big, difficult problems at Rangers, whilst Celtic are in the Champions League and Rangers are not. That, as we talked about before, that swing in revenue is just makes it so difficult to compete, because it's just such a massive difference between the two clubs. So the last thing they need on top of that is all sorts of flux in the boardroom.
There's also been a lot of talk around the manager at the moment, like the fans some have been calling for his head, but I guess the club won't want to be making decisions like that when they've already got all this stuff going on in the background as well. They don't want to add more turmoil to the situation potentially.
It's a problem all around, because they can't. It's very hard if you've got this sort of flux. Very hard to have. Clearly, you've got no leadership, but very hard to communicate even in an effective way to explain what's happening, why they might be having problems on the pitch, why it makes a difference if your revenue is 50, 75, 100 million less than Celtic this season, what that means to the wage bill that you can afford on the pitch, what that therefore means to how you perform on the pitch. All of this stuff, all of this communication is really difficult. So when you've got no leadership, so they need to resolve it, step by step and as quickly as possible. Otherwise, the whole thing is going to spiral, and they're going to have a very unhappy fan base. We've seen it in loads of clubs over the years. We know what happens in that situation. The whole thing becomes very, very toxic.